There's just a lot of times where I've wanted to throw a piece of furniture out the window and set it on fire, but usually I'll just take a break and then come to my senses and then figure it out. We're working on a side table today. So this little side table was dropped off in front of my house because my neighbors know that I do furniture flipping. Obviously, she needs a little work, but I have zero plans to flip this because I have a perfect spot in my living room where this would go. So I'm gonna make it up for myself. Okay, so first step is to hose her down because this is more than just like a rag and a spray kind of job. And then I don't know what I want to do with her because you see here, like, obviously it's peeled down to the underneath. So I'm afraid if I sand the top, I'm not going to be able to match the legs. And I don't want to sand the legs if I don't need to. So I don't know. Also, okay, no, this feels like wood. You know those like old leather, like desks sometimes would have like those leather pieces? I thought that was that for a second. So we're gonna get started by cleaning and then sanding, and it's just gonna be one of those projects that you just figure out as you go. So, all right. All right, so I started scrubbing this piece down. It was really, really dirty. I don't know if there was something that spilled on it or it just had on like caked on something. So I tried my best to just get as much as I could get off of it. But I was just having a lot of trouble. I've only had a few pieces where this has happened before, where I just like really cannot clean it. So yeah, it was forcing me to pivot a little bit. And I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do because obviously I could use a chemical stripper or I could sand this down. But because I was thinking that this had that like leather material on top, I was truly at a loss of how to go about this. And that's when I just decided that this is going to be a true experimentation project. And I was just going to go for something, whatever that was. That didn't quite work out, at least how I intended in my head. But what did we say? We said it's going to be a piece that we're going to figure out as we go along. And it's just proving true. Okay, so as you can see, it's still got that layer. I am going to use acetone. I've been wanting to use acetone for a long time now for a project, but I just haven't had one yet. I just laid some cardboard, so whatever, because when I use the acetone, it's gonna strip like the finish, hopefully all of this dirt and stuff or whatever spilled on it. It's gonna strip everything. So my original plan of trying to keep the dark wood is gone, but I can always stain it back, but it is gonna strip it back to its natural wood. And I have no idea what's gonna happen because this is leather, like, so I don't know. I could potentially ruin it. We have no idea. But I mean, kind of at a intersection here, so I gotta just do something. So I've got my acetone and then a few different like really fine steel wool, a little bit thicker, a little bit in between. Okay, I guess we'll get started. It's a little scary trying something new. Okay, so my top popped off. My this part is only supposed to be like half off, and half on there, but I can't figure it out. It's just not popping off. So I'm just gonna pour some of this, and I'm gonna start with the super fine steel wool, and we'll see. Oh, that was more than I expected. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's taking the paint of the leather off, so don't know what we're gonna do about that. Or like, what is happening? Oh no. Okay, no, that's the color of the wood. This is crazy. Does anyone know what's happening? All right, so I basically just tried to use a bunch of different of the steel wools and the acetone, and I don't know, I felt like I was just like pushing around this coloring thing. I didn't know what it was. So yeah, I grew pretty frustrated, but still held strong and worked on this far too long, in my opinion. And then I finally took a break. Okay, next day, I'm down here with my QD table. It's always good to take a break in a project because sometimes your brain just isn't working. So I thought this was like leather, and this brown, orange, whatever was like the coloring of the leather. No, I was touching the table with my rubber gloves, so it felt like a leathery feel. And then after all that, I realized this it's not leather. So, anywho, it was most likely just like a paint, like whatever this part is like a plastic something, and then they just painted it. So makes me feel a little bit better. No harm, no foul. I still want to keep this thing, but you see all of like that. I think I'm just going to try and make it smooth with some like wood filler, and just so I can paint it now. So I'm gonna wood fill it a little bit. It just needs a very thin layer, and then I'm gonna prime it, and I have this like cute red color. I think that would look good in my living room, so we're gonna go with that. I think I need some more, but we'll see. Oops. All right, so we're speeding this baby up because I think you guys get it. So I just went in with a little bit of wood filler. I didn't want it like super smooth, but there were just some pretty big divots that I wanted to smooth out, but I didn't go crazy with the wood filler. So obviously you can see some like texture up there with the design, but I'm just gonna leave that. I think it'll be fine. And again, I don't want to lose all of the patina. I do that because it's not a real antique, but you know. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'll sand it and prime it. Listen, I know I should have been wearing a mask. I just completely forgot. I started doing this and then realized it. And you know what? I was outside. So we're going to be all right. Okay, so let's take a little break and talk about mistakes. Because once you start furniture flipping, you're gonna have a million. There are just so many things to learn with furniture flipping. Like, there are endless tools and products and methods to use when you're furniture flipping. There's just a lot to learn, and there's a lot of trial and error. But I will say, just like with this project that I'm working on now, I don't think there has been one, I'm trying to think, I don't think there's been one piece of furniture that I've worked on that I've truly had to be like, scrap this, it's gotta go, like in the trash. It is ruined beyond repair. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't thought about that because there's been so many projects, including this one, where I've started doing something and I'm like, oh my God, this is not what I thought was gonna happen. Or even if I did think it was gonna happen, like, I just haven't problem solved for correcting it yet, and I just don't know how to correct it. So there's just a lot of times where, yeah, I have wanted to throw a piece of furniture out the window and set it on fire, but usually I'll just take a break and then come to my senses and then figure it out. But yeah, there has not been one piece of furniture that I've ruined into oblivion, even though it feels like that. So just keep that in mind as you start out furniture flipping, because I think that was a huge hindrance for me in the beginning. Is I spent so much time in that like paralysis analysis phase where you're just like looking at a piece and just thinking about like, okay, if I do this, it could lead to this, and then that could go poorly, and then how would I deal with that? And it's like, I'm not actually doing anything. I'm just like thinking about scenarios. It's like just a little furniture flipping anxiety for you. And I am a September Virgo. And if you didn't know this about astrology, September Virgos are very efficient. We like efficiency. We thrive on it. But sometimes it can be a hindrance because it will like put me into that paralysis analysis, because I feel like in my brain, I don't want to do something until I know it's going to be like 100% efficient. And so with furniture flipping, it's just kind of helped me deal with that feeling of like feeling that I always have to be completely efficient at something, because there will just be times where even if you research it and you feel like you know what to do, you're going to do something and you're just gonna mess it up. There's just going to be things that you're gonna mess up, you're gonna fumble your way through, but truly everything that I've messed up, I've been able to fix. And yes, it took me a lot more research, a lot more of my time, maybe even money, because I've had to buy like different products or tools to fix the mishap. But don't let the fear of messing up keep you from just following through with the project. Maybe you take a break from that project for a day or a week or a couple weeks, like I've done, and just kind of work on something different, or just take a break completely, because I feel like sometimes you just really need, at least I need, those breaks. And when I do take a break, I come to like clarity, and I'll be like, oh, that's what I should do with that. Instead of if I messed up and I just tried to like push and force my way through, it usually doesn't end well. Like, I'll just grow more frustrated and maybe even make more mistakes. So taking a break and giving yourself some time to just like think about what you're doing is always a good idea. But yeah, I just wanted to include this little snippet because I feel like I've heard people, like, as I've told them I do furniture flipping on the side, I will interact with people who say, oh my God, I have this piece of furniture and like I've been wanting to work on it, but I'm just so scared I'm gonna mess it up. And so I haven't started yet. And I'm like, I get that, because I do the same thing a lot, but you just have to start. There is really nothing that I can think of unless you like accidentally set a piece on fire and it just burns to pure ash. I don't think there's anything that you cannot correct, but there's just so many ways that you can figure out a plan B or an alternate route, no matter the mistake. So I hope this helps, and okay, let's get back to the piece. So I have this paint left over. It's in this like red color. What is it called? Rumors. Beautiful. All right, so this is how she turned out. I'm pretty happy. Adorable. So you see the top is, you can still see some of that texture and stuff, but I don't know. I don't mind it. I don't need my pieces to be like super duper smooth. Hazel likes it. And yeah, I think she's pretty cute. All right, so we got our cutie little table. I bought this ottoman with full intentions to reupholster the top, but then it was kind of like fun and funky, and I've just kept it. But now with the red and the red and the red, I might change it. Okay, so for it to fit, I do feel we have to go a little asymmetrical, which I don't know how I feel about that, but also there's a I didn't realize how much I love red apparently, but this is just here because my cats have been scratching my couch, so this is not always gonna be here. Okay, so obviously this is the front of this table, but because of my space, what if we can turn it? Is that a little bit better? Yes. Okay, it's not bad. I don't know. It could be cute. Okay, I popped my coffee cup there because obviously it's empty, but just ignore that. And just, you know, this is the vibe I'm going for. There's gonna be a book there, a little cup of coffee. I think she's cute. Maybe with a little pillow. Oh my God, I'm tripping. I don't know. I think it's good for now. What do you guys think? Classic pillow chop. I think that the color looks better, but Hazel's coming to inspect. Very new things happening in this corner. So let's see if she approves. Okay, what do you think, baby girl? Yeah, she's pretty happy with it. Overall, obviously you gotta get some artwork going on here, but listen, this video is about the table, okay? I'm very happy with the table. So this thing looked like it was about to head straight to the landfill. And instead, look how cute she is. Okay. Thanks for watching. Oh, she's done.